Yo, what's going on, everybody? Back out here again tonight to do another predictive, preemptive cryptocurrency video. And I know it's around the holidays, and I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as we head in transition into the new year. Hope you all, had a happy holidays. But we're going to come back out here and share some important information as we get ready to transition into the 52nd week of the year, Monday, Moon Day, December 27th, a date that I think might hold some importance and potential volatility. And it's a date I've shared in a video or two in the past leading into, this break we all took around the holidays. And, so I definitely want to come back out before tomorrow and, share some thoughts on this and hopefully solidify the importance of utilizing this code that we use on this channel. You know what it is on the daily candle close news. We use things and do things different than others. And that's, the esoteric signs of numerology, gematria, astrology, to help us understand so we can understand the world. I think it's very important. We'll touch base on, Christmas, New Year's, and the 23rd of December, which was the end of Saturnalia and also the Federal Reserve's birthday. Saw some importance there in the markets. So I wanted to, share that with you all there. We saw some volatility and, some important connections in the code as well. So definitely wanted to touch base on all of this. And today's video will be a little bit longer. So for all of you joining me around this holiday season and watching me, definitely wanted to, send you all much love and high vibrations and tell you to get your snack ready. Pop your popcorn or, get your favorite glass of wine or your coffee ready if it's morning time wherever you are in the world. And, kick back and relax and, dive into the matrix with us as we decode this augmented reality. Because we believe that this woke culture, is nothing more than a culturally sanctioned and linguistically reinforced hallucination. And I believe that what you believe in your hearts and speak in your mind will eventually become your words and your reality. And I've learned these things along my way, and I've also learned that what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious reaction. And, if you can see it in your mind, then you can hold it right here in your hand one day. And these are things I truly believe, and I just want all my unconscious reactions to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So with all that being said, you guys, we'll go ahead and dive straight into this, this episode of the Daily Candle Close News. And, we'll be doing our weekly technical analysis, touching on the markets and some cryptocurrencies, possibly some altcoins. We'll see how it goes. And, we'll also do a little decode. Share some important dates moving forward. So again, sorry for the length of this video, but we've been off with the family for a few days, and I know you all have too. So it's time to get back to work and be the change. So boom, we'll get everything started. Definitely just wanted to recap on everything we were discussing on regards to the Federal Reserve's birthday on December 23rd. A very important date connection that we made being the 108th year anniversary and birthday of the Federal Reserve that was implemented in 1913. And I hope you've all went and done your research on the meeting at Jekyll Island in 1910 or read the book The Creature of Jekyll Island. Two very important, things to research with the implementation of this Federal Reserve system that we utilize today. The Federal Reserve not even being a part of the United States government, but says it is. I don't know, but How they get away with it is because the masses are, well, not educated enough, and they haven't done their research on the Federal Reserve. So we'll leave that there. But important date connection that we saw bring volatility to the markets. December 23rd, Bitcoin hitting a high of 51,000 in the 51st week of the year. The first time we broke back above 51K since our 7-minute sell-off that we've been talking about over the last several weeks on this channel. Again, going up $2,233.58. All of those, that 22, that 33, that 58 that we talk about on this channel, all of them being very, very powerful numbers. And again, $2,233, that 223 it starts out with, I just think being a coincidental tying us into, the skull and bones that we'll be talking about again tonight, the mirror of 322, room 223, or room 322, I mean. So, order 322, the Brotherhood of Death, just very important connections that I think were inevitable that we saw that, because when we look at that day going back to the start of the Shemitah, where we saw our September 7th sell-off, it was 3 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days since the start of the Shemitah in September. And this was also the end of Saturnalia. So again, very powerful connections right here. Off the rip, we'll go ahead and show you that 76 that we got on this date. When we added it up, it tied us straight into our friends Skull and Bones. So again, just this very powerful connection that I'm just humbled to be able to provide you guys, with it in advance. See it come out and play out in the markets, and utilize the code and play out to fruition like we thought it would. Again, not knowing which way we would go, but potentially bring in volatility to the markets. So, and its connection to Rosh Hashanah, very important. So, again, it being the actual 108th anniversary since its establishment in 1913, and being 108 days since the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year that came one day before the Shemitah this year in September, being 108 days since. Again, those two 108s right there. Very powerful connection. We've spoken about how that 108 symbolizes and is a number that represents spiritual completion. So, just, I think, very powerful things right here. Again, that left 8 days left in the year. We know 8 is the last number before we reach 9, which 9 equals completion. And we got that the previous day before. So just very powerful connections right here. That day giving us 13 when we typed it out in the calculator, tying us into Bitcoin, you guys. Boom. Yeah, December 23rd. Does it not give us? Huh. Oh, it's because I put it 11. I'm sorry. So that should be a 12. Boom. 1/12/23/2021. Giving us that 13. We know Bitcoin is in its 13-year inception. So again, this, I believe, tying us in here. And why we're seeing this volatility in Bitcoin again. And I'll try and solidify why I think Bitcoin is tied to this ultimate agenda that we've been speaking about recently in my last several videos over the past several weeks and month or so. And I know I've spoken a lot about some things that might hurt people's feelings. But it's been my whole entire work for 2 years to come out and expose this blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, this globalist elite agenda of transhumanism and the mark of the beast. And well, the digital decade is part of that. It's all as a whole, the Agenda 2030 and Build Back Better sustainable development. It's all a psyop. And it's all a part of this ultimate end game and agenda. Um, and I just wanted to you just take a moment to remind all of you that you're chosen ones. You're light that shines through the darkness. And we're the only ones that are going to make this world a better place. We're pioneers and chosen ones, illuminated and enlightened. And, we're destined for greatness. And if you can, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you can see it in your mind, then you can hold it right here in your hand. And I believe that's why it's more important than anything. We manifest peace on earth. What you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality. And I say them things each and every day. And hopefully that hits home to a lot of us as we continue to enter into this next year, which I believe will be a transition year and a potential new reality and very intriguing year for some of us, if not all of us. I do believe that next year we get some kind of clarity as to what our lives will be like moving forward. I believe that 2020 was a launchpad test bed for this ultimate and bigger agenda that we're trying to expose on this channel. So hopefully this video tonight does that, and we'll continue to get into that. But this very important date right here, and keep in mind this 3 months and 17 days. We know that 317 is the 66th prime number, and we'll be speaking a lot about this 66 number tonight and how I think it I can show you how it ties into this entire agenda. We know this 66 number being a master number, a very powerful number, and we'll speak highly on that tonight. But back to Christmas Eve. Some more important connections we had here. I saw it gave us 77 in numerology when we added it up: 12 plus 20 plus 20 plus 24 plus 20 plus 21, leaving 7 days left in the year. That very powerful 777 that we know we get. And in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That 777, also giving us that 222 that we'll possibly be speaking on tonight. Was watching Christmas Eve closely. Just powerful connections. That 41 Bitcoin, its fear and greed index all day on this day it was at 41 on December 23rd and the 24th. So I thought it was pretty interesting seeing it, just play out in the code. The fear and greed index. We know the market manipulation tools the elites like to use to drain emotion and sentiment out of the masses. So just powerful connections. We know that 14, an important number. We get the mirror 41 on this day. But that 14 just being a very powerful number. God equals 14, etc. And we've explained this. So a date that we were watching. And then of course, we had Christmas, you guys, giving us that 42, tying us into Saturn. Christmas this year came on Saturday, Saturn Day, the day of Saturn. So, just important connections that I thought we could add right there. Boom, 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 boom. Just looking over my notes, you guys. Sorry about that. Some connections we can make to these dates right here real quick was, we talked about this 77 in date numerology that added up to, 77 when we added this date numerology up. I'm sorry. We know that ties us back into our homeboys who practice Judaism. giving us that 77, or, Christ giving us that 77. This was a day we talked about, gave us the 14 when we typed it out. We said, we know God gives us that 14. So just these powerful connections right here around Christmas, and we know the story that we're given about Christmas. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And yeah, we talked about this being a Saturn day, right? Well, this was a Friday, December 24th. So this was a Friday, Freya day. So important connections there. Freya day, Friday, the day of Freya. And I spelled that wrong. There's supposed to be a J right there. Boom, giving us that 18. Important connections right there. That was tying us into, again, that Christ connection we got on the 77 date numerology this day. So that 18 on Friday, Freya day, the day of Venus also giving us that 18. So just very powerful connections we were getting on this day. This was Christmas Eve, so that giving us the 52 as we get ready to transition into the 52nd week of the year. Just, I think, undeniable connections right here. But at 42, we get Christmas Eve, of course, tying us into Saturn. Santa is Saturn. Satan is Santa is Saturn. All the same thing, etc. But that 61, we getting Christmas the following day. That's the, we know is the 18th prime number. So I just think very powerful connections we're getting right here on this day. And then we talked about Christmas Day, being the 25th, giving us that same 42. We got in Christmas Eve. Leaving 6 days left in the year. Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun. So important connections. This was a Saturn day. So yeah, 3, 2, 4. Yeah, important connections that I thought was important to keep an eye on as we transition through these days. And then this is the day, we're going to be talking a lot about tonight, being 111 days since the start of the Shemitah and the Jewish Hebrew New Year. And if we go back to the Jewish Hebrew New Year being 1112. But I wanted to take one moment to, again, spend some time to try and expose this, this globalist agenda. I just believe there's a reason why I'm alive and doing this right now in the world. I believe it's for a reason. So we see that 317 again. We know being the 66 prime number. Really don't know where I want to start with this. We went over a few in the Mark of the Beast video. Suggest you watch that video if you haven't made it. But this 66 connection is something we've been talking about, and I wanted to break it down quite a bit for us all tonight, and hopefully allow it to explain the importance of of my work. One thing about my work is centered around cryptocurrency and finances, economics. Preparing you for a rich mindset, etc. And one thing I think is important is we know Bitcoin has a 21 million coin supply, and we're getting that 21 million coin supply. That 21 million giving us the 66. We know that 21 ties us into the 21 we get in Saturn, and we expose that on our channel a lot. So important connections there that I definitely want to bring up. It's a new 21 connection we can remember as we continue to decode and use this code in you know, our work. But again, giving us that 66, very powerful connection. The most pure cipher is at that, the Chaldean. We know this 66 is, it's associated with a lot of other cryptos, and you can do your research on that as well. But we know this 66 number can be perceived as a lot of other things. It can be perceived as 6 sixes or 6 times 6, giving us the 36. And that 36 we talk about can be perceived as 6 plus 6 plus 6, giving us that 18. That 18 that we get in Christ, or Venus. Shemitah, just very powerful. But we're going to try and break this down in a way that I haven't done tonight. But again, that 66 can be perceived as 3 sixes, or 36, 6 times 6. And I want us to remember that when we're looking at numbers. So I don't want to make that confusing, and I'm sorry if I did, but you're going to see why it's important tonight, I hope. So again, 66 perceived as 6 sixes, and or 6 times 6, which is 36, and we know that comes back to Bitcoin 36, Ethereum. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Ethereum giving us that same 36. We know a fan favorite, Dogecoin, gives us that same 36. Okay, that same 72 we get in Bitcoin. That same 45 we get in Bitcoin. Okay, we know Algorand gives us that same 36. So does Polkadot. So does Polkadot. It all gives us 36, and so on and so on and so on. And the list really does go on, and you can do your own due diligence. And again, that 36 is tying us into the metaverse that we've spoken about in the Mark of the Beast decode that we'll be touching base on briefly, giving us that same 18 in the metaverse. Okay, you guys, that UN Agenda 2030, that we're getting that same 36 in. Okay, so just important connections that I want to show you here as we utilize this code. Some saying, the chip giving us that 36, that 18, that 72. I believe it all ties in here, as we see it's part of their transhumanist agenda, giving us that 63, the mirror of 36, you guys, that we're getting in all these powerful connections. And I'm going to break this transhumanist agenda down even more for you tonight, but I think it's all tying back to our friends that, are from room 322, giving us that 27, the mirror of 72, that we got in, Bitcoin and some of these other things that we've just spoken about. The Jesuit order that gives us that same 72. Okay, that same 144 and 72 that you get in Dogecoin. Who you think runs Dogecoin? So you got to be careful what you follow on Twitter, or who you follow. But just very powerful connections. But all that 36, it's tying us into something very powerful that I wanted to just continue to show you. It's tying us into carbon man, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, the 3 sixes, carbon based life forms. Carbon, man, that's what we are, giving us the 36 and the 81, the mirror of the 18 we've been talking about. We've been getting that 54 in a number of these things tonight, like Jesuit order. But, according to our body, according to science, our body is 18% carbon. And, what is 18? 6 plus 6 plus 6, you guys. So again, that 66 being perceived as 3 sixes, 18, tying you back into man is Christ. And I tell you this, you're gods and goddesses. But again, tying you back into carbon. 6 plus 6 plus 6, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons, or, 36. So, back to talking about the number of the beast that correlates with the mark of the beast. And, we talked about that. Some will say it's the chip, the 36 that we get in the chip. This new inoculation. I definitely think it's the precursor at the very least. But, the number of the beast giving us that 66. And we don't hear about it until the 66th book of the Bible, Revelations. But I think it's powerful that we make these connections, because, it's the mark of the beast we know is going to be pushed on mankind, giving us that same 66. What the elite would call the Goyon, giving us that same 66. And I think it's very interesting, this psyop we're seeing, we've exposed, giving us that 66. And, what they're finding, this venom, the 66, which is the black goo that they're finding in these inoculations in individuals' blood and in autopsies after, death, etc. Just very powerful connections. But ultimately, I think it's all tying back into the worship of Moloch and, Odin, which is Saturn ultimately. The cult of Saturn. Their Agenda 2030. You own nothing, you'll be happy, and depopulation. The Georgia Guidestones. So, powerful connections, for anyone that just still thinks they can deny this, this transhumanist agenda that we're watching being pushed forth on the human stage, on the world stage right now, to the masses. When we type out humanist agenda, you get some very powerful things when you look at all the ciphers. That 589 that the XRP community loves to tweet about. Look what you're putting your energy into when you do that. That 115 you get in Lucifer. Didn't we see Travis Scott's concert on 11/5? Do some pretty weird shit. I'm just saying. We get that 72 you get in Bitcoin and Dogecoin, the mirror of 27. Okay, room 322 gave us that 27. 1122. 11 plus 22 is 33. The 3 master builder numbers, the first 3. Just very powerful connections you're getting right here. There's that 322 we get in our homeboys and our lizard pals. How about that? In this transhumanist agenda, who do you think's pushing it forward? It's our job to be the light bearers and the boots on the ground, and the only chance at stopping it. So again, this transhumanist agenda giving us that 63, the mirror of 36. We're getting in all the lists that we've talked about tonight. I just think undeniable connections that we can't deny, and can no longer just sit back and I just can't think about it. I can't, or whatever. It's time to start speaking out and speak out against corruption. And it is what it is. I hate to bring this around the holiday seasons, but it's again part of part of my work and showing the importance of why we saw this volatility on the 23rd as we transition out of Saturnalia and into the holidays and as we get ready to approach the new year. And tomorrow, I think, just being a very important day to watch out for. Potential volatility. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but we'll get off of that. Take a quick look at Bitcoin, setting it, 50K right now. XRP setting at 92 cents. We'll talk about this shortly. Luna is still pumping. We'll see what happens, but it's looking scary. That's for sure. Euphoria and thrill. That's for sure. Yeah. Boom. Again, that 7 right here, that 77, 7 plus 7 is 14, and we got 14 in that day when we typed it out. Just another powerful connection I thought we could add there. All right. What are we going to talk about? 27. Boom. All right. So the 27th, December 27th, 2021, I think being a very important day that we can connect to off the rip, the 53rd anniversary of Apollo 8 and its successful launch of the Saturn V rocket. And when we type that out, Saturn V rocket, we see that gives us 52, and tomorrow starts the 52nd week of the year, and it's the 53rd anniversary of the Saturn V rocket. That 53 tying us into that 35 and that 53 connection we were getting in virtual realm metaverse. The new variant that we won't speak about that we've brought up about the channel. Giving us that same 53 and 35 connection. Again, transhumanism giving us that 53. All part of the UN Agenda 2030 connection. And again, I don't know. This is what blockchain is all about. All of it. And I just wanted to teach you guys about this 36 tonight, and this 35 and 53, because this whole C word and this psyop and this new variant and the lockdowns and the mandates and the passes, all of this is about transhumanism and a social credit score, all of it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you've really got to, start waking up to this, because it's the starting point to something way darker, because this ain't the end. This is just the start. And the point of my work is to teach you how to decode and mix that with technical analysis and have some kind of edge on where this world is headed. So maybe we can invest in projects that have some kind of potential upside that can make us some kind of life-changing wealth, or potential wealth along the way that can better our lives for our families as we head into this who knows what. But it's, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just rambling, I guess. But when we get this spiritual growth and this conscious growth, and we realize what's going on, we can then possibly maybe get financial growth. But more importantly, we gain abundance, and we're able to realize what's going on. and gain a clearer mindset as to where we're headed. But again, this third flight and the first crew launch of the Saturn V rocket, giving us 52, starting the 52nd week of the year, being the 53rd anniversary. This powerful connections, I think, right here to everything going on. I mean, December 4th, our dump was 35 days since January 8th, a potential date we could look out for in the future. But this whole agenda and this blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies and this whole new world order agenda is designed to put you in the blockchain, you guys, and into slavery. And it's designed to get us chained up to the block, and we don't want that happening to us. We want to be free men, and I think we need to seek freedom and not wealth, and manifest peace on earth. What they've sold to the masses is this idea that you can get rich on cryptocurrency, but remember that everything comes with a cost. And yeah. Anyways, sorry about that, but straight back into the decode, you guys, so we can get into the technical analysis tonight. We still got a lot to talk about. Just very powerful connection right here. When we add December 27th up tomorrow, we're getting that 12 plus 27 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, giving us that 44. We know it leaves 4 days left in the year. That is 4, 4, 4. Lucifer equals 4, 4, 4, you guys. We know we also talked about that 44, 4 connection. Okay, it's Lucifer. That equals 44, 4. Or 4, 4, 4, I'm sorry. But we also get that in the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So, dang, what'd I mess up? Huh. Well, I'll be. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't that 444 connection unless you're seeing it, but maybe it's this 111 connection that we got in the King of Kings and Lord of Lords on this date that was 111 days since the start of Rosh Hashanah. Just I think being very powerful. We know this number is powerful. That 111 connects us to is a number that's important that we speak about on this channel every time we see it, because it's a number that symbolizes us to look within and discover our purpose, to embrace a new phase in our life as we get ready to transition into the new year. It resembles self-worth and confidence. So very important number, that 111, that angel number. Boom, boom. That 361 we know is a perfect square, the perfect square of 19 being, 361, 19 is the square root of 361. Again, this was, this is tomorrow as we transition out of today, Sunday, the day of the sun being the 19th tarot card in the tarot deck, and, Ra, the ancient sun god, gives us 19 when we type that out. So important connections we're seeing right here as we transition out of Sunday into tomorrow, Monday, the day of the moon. That 111 days since the start of the Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah, giving us that 1112 if we go back one previous day to the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year. That connection we get in, the Jesuits with that 112. Just powerful connections we're seeing right here. 4 days left in the year. We know 4 is in some cultures, it's a symbol for death. So watching the markets tomorrow, this potential volatility. We know that the lizards have been off for 3 days. And, CME tonight as we close, and the weekly close combined with, you know, the lizards come back tomorrow to trading. So we'll have to continue to watch out how that plays out. But one connection we can make is tomorrow is 222 days since our April 14th highs in the markets. And I think that's powerful because, again, we got that 222, and in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, so, you know, that creation right there and that 222 right there, very powerful. But, you know, that 222, we get an order out of chaos. All right, you know, that 222, we get in world economic forum. Oh, I knew I spelled economic. Well, that 222, we get in World Economic Forum and order out of chaos. Or New York, where event 201 took place, you know. And then, you know, that was a simulated outbreak of a planned pandemic. And then 2 months later, we saw the biggest psyop on the world that came from, you know, the China virus. I better behave. But, you know, giving us all that 222, that 66 that we talked about tonight, it's very powerful connections, you guys, that I don't think we can make up. And it's time to quit denying it, you know. It's time to understand what's really going on the world stage. You know, again, that 44, we're getting in tomorrow's date, you guys. When we add it up, I thought it's important to talk about all this tonight because that 44 ties us back into transhumanism, giving us that 44 tomorrow. So important to watch out for that, you know. 4 plus 4 is 8. Tomorrow adds up to 80. Drop the 0, that's 8. You know, with that 44 connection and transhumanism that, you know, we're also getting in demiurge, you guys. So again, you know, what are they trying to merge with our 46 chromosomes? 23 from our mom and 23 from our dad. You know, it's time to start asking ourselves these questions. Are they trying to merge the beast? You know, demonic entities. Whatever. You know, I mean, who knows? I mean, nobody knows. I don't know. But, you know, kind of makes us wonder, doesn't it? What's really going on? Boom. With all that being said, I think we'll go ahead and get straight into the technical analysis, you guys. But, you know, I just wanted to try and show you how other things are operating. Yeah, you know, it's just a symbology of everything that I'm interested in. And it makes me want to continue to try and reveal some of these secrets. Things that I've kind of known for years, but now that we're seeing this Agenda 2030 and this transhumanistic concept pushed, you know, it's starting to really, I think, blow people's minds as they start to wake up to what's really going on. And I don't think a company like Ripple or Chainlink or, you know, Dogecoin will set you free. You know, I think this is all psyops and something to get you excited and happy about something that is just quite dark. So it's kind of my red pill video for the end of the year for everyone. And, you know, understand why these mandates and lockdowns are happening right now is all I'm saying as we transition into a very, very interesting time in our world. And I believe those of you that are awake and aware of what's going on in our world are going to be able to protect and help people around you and your loved ones in your community with some of this information that we're doing today. gonna take a moment to look over my notes. I think we've went over everything. Get straight into the technical analysis for tonight. We'll go over anything if I see it, and we want to bring it back up. So you guys, we've continued to see multiple daily closes on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, stalling out with a false breakout and rejection since of the 0.5 of our dead cat bounce fib that we pulled up from our 60k rejection, 60k and 60k 500, so $60,500 range of Bitcoin. These two false breakouts that we got rejected from back here. That's where we pulled our swing highs to the swing lows for Bitcoin on our dead cat bounce field. We have had a clear rejection or clear breakout of our falling symmetrical triangle that we've had drawn for quite some time over the past several weeks. So that was bullish to see this W pattern breakout, come back, retest the neckline, and break out to that 51k we were able to talk about in one of our videos. Very bullish to see that happen, and it happened in the 51st week of the year. We were able to come out here and post in December 16th, days before it happened, and prepare you guys, with just a little quick market update in a Facebook post for when I thought we could possibly see this 51k again as we transition into the 51st week or the 52nd week of the year. So again, as tomorrow is Monday Moon Day, the 52nd week of the year, could we see Bitcoin break back above 52k as we transition out of Sunday and into Monday Moon Day, the day of the moon? Very important things that I think we could potentially watch out for tomorrow. We're hovering right there, right under 51k right now, right over 50,000 right now. That psychological range that we were having trouble breaking not too long ago, but we've seen clear rejection from this 0.5 fib, and this is the area where we start getting cautious on a dead cat bounce, because we could fall back to these lower levels at any time now, especially if we start to increase upwards of this golden pocket at the 618, 702, and the 786. Just areas we're watching out for. Ultimately, if we're going to keep going upwards, which we kind of don't want to see Bitcoin do, just want to see it be boring till after the first of the year. Technical analysis wise would be healthier than seeing it just continue to break straight up. But if we do, we definitely want to see it continue into continuation in a bull run, which is ultimately just setting higher highs, which would be above 69k. We would need to see 69k and a penny, and then we see continuation. But we could see a bull trap anytime between now and then, and that's important that we go over that. Bitcoin on the daily, battling to get above that 34. So, that is definitely bearish. Not saying anything bad, but, we definitely want to get above that and close above that and hold multiple daily closes above that for continuation is all I'm saying. As well as that 55, which is right there around 52k6. So 52,000, we could see a retest of that over the next few days in the 52nd week of the year. Very important to pay attention to. Again, seeing how we could possibly see the code hold fruition and solidify importance of that. This 55, again, tying us into Satoshi Nakamoto, that gives us the 55, the creator of Bitcoin. That 55 we get in God, Satan, predestination, Timekeeper gives us 55. Important connections right there. That 115 we get in Lucifer, 11 times 5 is 55. So again, just important connections that you can't deny. We could possibly see a retest of 48, 47, and even lower over the next day or so. And we still hold our 42, 44K, dip range of flash crash, if that's what you wanted to call it, it's still those cards are still on the table. We'll have to see how the deck shuffled, you guys. There's 52 cards in a playing deck, 52 weeks in the year. Important connections. Remember that. BTC equals 25, the mirror of 52. So we can see some connections being here made. Right now that 8 is above the 13, which is right under the 21. We want to see both of these get above the 21. We're holding support above the 200 and the 21 on the daily time frame, as well as the 8 and the 13. Just not in full bullish posture yet, and we'd like to see us get in that bullish posture. We're pretty much going to be dealing with these levels until there's some resolution, and it's hard to have resolution when the volume is so low. And throughout the holiday times, the volume is more than likely gonna be low, and that's normal. It's something we have to deal with though, and it's fine. We could also see bullish breakouts, and we have over this past few days.